So the Nvidia RTX 3060, as we all know, let's not sugarcoat it. You're probably not going to get one. I'm probably not going to be able to get one. So let's talk about if this even is a GPU you should care about, or should you look at another GPU instead? Let's get started. Hey guys, Thiago with Classical Technology here. Some say every time you smash that like button, I move a little bit more this way to block that Mac in the background so you can see my actual gaming PC that's on the other side. But anyway, let's talk about the Nvidia RTX 3060 at an MSRP of $329. And if I can almost keep myself from laughing, you know that these numbers are pretty much farcical. Technically, there may be some version out there that's $329, but we all know that GPU is going to be barely able to be found anywhere. And of course, if you can find it, if they do have stock of it somewhere, it's definitely not going to be $329. So let's talk about a few reasons why you should probably not even care about this GPU. So the first reason, and yes, that's going to be the price. Don't be fooled by the $329 starting price. Even the 3060 Ti, which was supposed to be $399, very rare to find it at that. You have to basically find a Founders Edition, which I don't believe the 3060 is going to have, and you see them all the time for $500 to $600 on Newegg at MSRP. So the 3060 Ti at $399, pretty much non-existent. So you have to expect that a $329 3060 is also going to be pretty much nowhere to be found. Basically, this GPU is going to be well into the 400s and maybe for certain models into the 500s, as we are still well in the midst of not only massive shortages for GPUs, but also the MSRP prices seem to be going up ever so slightly, almost every week or every 2 weeks. They definitely have reached pretty astronomical levels. Like we mentioned before in a different video, I even saw that 3070, in fact, the one that's right behind me there, the 3070 Supreme, that's now over $800 for a 3070. So pretty ridiculous if you ask me. The second reason why the 3060 may not be the GPU for you, look at the 3060 Ti. It's a considerably better GPU, and if you looked at their suggested price, there's a $70 difference between them. Don't be fooled by the 12 gigabytes of VRAM on the 3060. If you have a particular application that's really gonna take advantage of that, then go ahead, take it for a spin. 12 gigabytes of VRAM may be useful for your particular use case, but for gamers across the board, the 3060 Ti is going to be a much better choice. Yes, it's only going to have 8 gigabytes of VRAM, but it's going to be much faster in traditional FPS gaming and ray tracing. It's just overall going to be the better GPU. In fact, it's more like a scaled down RTX 3070, while the 3060 is not going to be in the same league as the 3060 Ti. So if you can find a 3060 Ti, that's going to be the best reason to go for that instead of the 3060. Now, are there any positive sides to the RTX 3060? It is yet another 3000 series GPU, which in my opinion is still better than some of these other GPUs that Nvidia is reintroducing into the market. And I'm talking specifically here about a few things that Nvidia is actually bringing back, like the 2060, like the 1050 Ti. I much rather overpay a little bit for, an RTX 3060 and at least get a little bit more modern performance rather than have to spend over $200 or whatever it is on a 1050 Ti, which, let's face it, it's very old technology, and even when it was new, it really wasn't all that great anyway. If you're talking about a 1080 Ti, that's a whole different story. If Nvidia was bringing back at a fair price the 1080 Ti, those would sell out very quickly because that's still a great GPU. But a 1050 Ti really isn't going to satisfy most gamers at all, and it's just going to be there for the people that want a very basic system that they're not really using games or anything like that. But having said that, I much prefer to get the 3060, as unattractive as it may be versus the 3060 Ti or maybe even the 3070. That's still a lot better than paying almost MSRP that you would have paid a few years ago for something like a 2060. They're not coming back at a discount. They're coming back at the same price they used to cost, if not even a little bit more. So I rather, if I'm gonna go after a GPU like that, just get the newer generation, even if it's the only one that you can find out of the newer 3000 series GPUs. So in conclusion, the 3060, and there was a lot of stock, and the MSRP was pretty close and people could get it for that price. honestly, it's not really that bad of a GPU. Of course, the 3060 Ti is better, but those are well over $500 now, and they're very difficult to find. But the 3060 is going to pretty much encounter the same fate, maybe just going to be a little bit lower than the 3060 Ti, but most likely might be just as hard to find. And of course, if everything was in stock and everything was regular MSRP, 3060 Ti or 3070 most likely is what you should be going for anyway, just because the price premium between them really isn't that different. But as we said before, we are in very different times, so you're not going to find the optimal ideal situation. You may just have to get whatever you can find at the time. It's not going to be optimal. The 3060 may be more expensive than you wanted to spend, but it may be the only new GPU available that you may be able to find if that happens to be the case. So you're going to have to unfortunately compromise. We really can't review or view these GPUs in the same objective light as we would during normal times, just because stock, availability, and MSRP issues, and it pretty much takes precedence even over their price to performance proposition, which we traditionally view as sort of being ideal. We can't really view price to performance anymore. Look at the 3080. That has amazing price to performance at its MSRP of $699, but it's continuously sold out everywhere, and often you'll find it for twice the MSRP, so we really can't view these GPUs at that certain aspect. That's why the entire situation now certainly is very frustrating, but we can't just give up, and we have to really make the best of the situation and find the ones that are in stock and the ones that are priced a little bit better. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're thinking about going for the 3060. Remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.